Namaskar. I'm Dr. Narinya Avinash Wagmare, working as an assistant professor at Tilak Maharashtra Vidyapith, Pune. Today's our topic is criticism, under that negative criticism as well as positive criticism, and this two criticism comes under internal criticism. So while testing any document is fact or fake one, these two criticism we have to use for authenticity of the document. There are various names of this criticism. External criticism called as a heuristics and internal criticism called as a hermeneutics. Why it is necessary? Why internal and external criticism are necessary for studying the history or for doing the research time? Criticism has proved to be the base of the study of history. It may be external or internal. Both have equal importance, but internal criticism is more complicated as compared with the external criticism. Internal criticism is like external criticism, aims at discovering the genuineness of the document as well as the authenticity of its material. It also aims at analyzing of the document critically. Thus, the job of internal criticism is more complex than that of external criticism. Longles and Sainbos point out the study of every document should begin with an analysis of its contents made with the sole aim of determining the real meaning of the author. This analysis is preliminary operation, distinct and independent. Then external criticism. External criticism is called heuristic, which is a Greek word. It means guiding or discovery. In fact, external criticism means making discovery of the fact whether the document is fake or genuine. The author should be identified to determine the place of the document, to find out the time at which the document was written. So in another lecture, I will explain more related to external criticism. But here again, I give a same information that in external criticism, we find out the author as well as place and in which year this document is published. So this, whenever you get any book, any document, the outer things, external things, that is outer of the book, we consider author, place and publication year, that is comes in external criticism. Then internal criticism, it is also known as higher criticism or hermeneutic, which means interpretative criticism. Positive criticism and negative criticism, both these things comes under this internal criticism. The main aim of internal criticism is to discover whether the document may be accepted or may not be accepted. If you have one document, it is correct or wrong, it's a good or authentic one. If it's not good, then you have to keep aside. If it's good, you can refer and do your research work or study. Thus, internal criticism concerns with ascertaining the trustworthiness of the documents. Deep study of each and every idea contained in the document study that considered as internal criticism. Then meaning of internal criticism. Internal criticism is concerned with the analytical operation. It is known as higher criticism. Again, the two operation comes in internal criticism. Already I explained positive and negative criticism. It is particularly applied for scriptures or writing or literature. The main task of it is to find out whether a given idea or view should be accepted or should not be accepted, or view should or should not be regarded as fact. It's a fake one or fact one. Actually, internal criticism needs more care in scrutinizing the contents of the documents in order to find out how much it contains truth and how much it is far from truth. Find out those things, internal criticism is important. The fact is that the main aim of the internal criticism is to discover whether the document may be accepted or may not be accepted as a true one. Thus, internal criticism concerns with ascertaining the trustworthiness of the document. It's a authentic one, or we have to separate it. Then it is very essential for internal criticism and a historian to analyze the content of the documents with a view to establish the real meaning of content of document. The historian should avoid analyzing of the content of the document which the author did not intend to convey. It is very difficult job and is usually happens that a historian is to interpret the content, even the words, phrases of the document which suit his views and his own preconceived notions. It is also possible that a historian may twist the meaning and also be willingly and intentionally tries to establish his own theories and hypotheses. This tendency has proved to be very harmful in analytical historical research. So in the internal criticism, when we external criticism, we find out the author, place and time. In internal criticism, when we are open this book, in which language it was written and what was the intention of the author, how authentically he has written this book and which language he used and which method he adopted, this all checking comes under the internal criticism. It's a simple language, hard language, or a mixed culture language, which type of things he referred while writing this book. Then techniques of internal criticism. How can we test this document is authentic one or not? The critical approach is adopted in the technique of internal criticism. In this manuscript or other document of the author is analyzed with a view to discover the correctness. The techniques of internal criticism is used to find out the extent of errors committed with a few finding truth. Because main purpose of internal criticism is related with deep study of each and every idea contained in the document. So each and every word, sentence, as well year, chronology, pictures, diagram, everything is noted, counted, line between the reading everything in a detailed, clear manner. So to deal with this problem, it is necessary that whole document should be divided into ideas for analysis purpose. After analyzing and interpreting the document, the scholar will be able to know the nature of historical facts. Every idea of the document is separately tested and analyzed. It may lead that some are found to be true and others may be false. Thus, this technique helps to find out the validity of each and every idea. Then operation of the internal criticism. The two operations are involved in internal criticism. The first operation is analysis of the contents of the document. It is technically known as positive interpretative criticism. What are the content in this particular book? The second operation is analysis of the circumstance situation in which the document was written. While writing, what was the situation of the author, what was the condition of that period, which language he used, those also comes in second operation. It is technically called negative interpretative criticism. The main aim of the first operation is to find out the ideas of author, what the author really wanted to express or what the author really explained when it was produced. The main purpose of the second operation to verify whether the author express conforms to what really happened. It's correct or wrong. Negative interpretive criticism is more important because it helps to eliminate the possibility of error in the author's statement, whereas positive interpretive criticism is to get the meaning assigned to the words at the time the document was produced. The second operation plays a very great role in the development of history because that is the basis of information on which the scholars are making efforts to develop the subsequent history. It helps to separate the true part of the document from the false part. For find out the fact and fake document, this is very important. Three may be international falsehood in the document that can creep due to various reasons. Whether may be the cause, but this compels to the needs of proper verifications, investigation, and analysis of the document when it is accepted. Thus, internal criticism is responsible for establishing the value of the document. Then operation of internal criticism. There are many causes which lead to produce fake documents. So for this, the utility of the both internal and external criticism are responsible. These causes are due to prejudice of the authors, their inadequate knowledge of subjects, their defective observation, or their motives. So a historian has to do a work as a judge, not as a lawyer. as a vakil, what we call. So he's while writing the any document, he must be good knowledge in particular subject. His observation must be correct one, and motives behind doing that research work or writing that particular book. So that must be clear one. If he have prejudiced mind, biased mind in his mind, so everything in the document is fake one. In the early period, there were many court historians who wrote about their patrons. So these accounts, court historians are not fully true. They need a proper scrutiny before use of constructing any account on their basis. Because what happened, the court historian, whenever the ruler do any wrong thing also, and the ruler appointed these court historians and they appreciate the ruler, they neglected the negative point of the ruler and they wrote only appreciation points of the ruler or good points related to ruler. So this while referring the court historian's history, we have to find it's true or false and we have to refer other books along with this document. Many foreign travelers have written not on the basis what they really felt or experienced, but on the basis what they were told by the contemporary people. They also incorporated hearsay as a truth in their account. Sometimes the foreign authors book also be referred, but when he came, the situation was changed, and whatever he oral history he documented that may be correct or wrong, or which books refer that may be correct or wrong. So that's why we have to cross-checking, referring other things also important. Some officers and historians who were sent in another country produce reviews and motivated accounts which deal about living condition, culture, and social system of color over which they rule. That is also important. Then thus the internationalism not only aids in finding out the errors, but also throwing light on the intention of the author. The author intention also find out in here. Many old documents great importance because these provide a good account of the period when these were written. Their information quite authentic and also dependable. It is a fact that every author has his personal views and prejudice, which in spite of his efforts, he is not able to avoid. It is task of both criticisms to sort out and verify the no. So here we find internal criticism, positive criticism, real meaning of the document, and literal meaning of the particular document. Then negative criticism, mental thinking of the author, person who has written that document. These 2 points we have to keep: negative criticism as well as positive criticism. In positive criticism, this has to follow 2 operations. Purpose of positive interpretive criticism. The main function of the positive interpretive criticism is to find out the literal meaning of the document and study of its matter. In fact, it can be regarded as preliminary operation, which is full contents of document deeply understood and later views author has written in this account. This process to sign literal meaning, in which language this was written, and this was written in which language, English, and what is the literal meaning of this one. Then again, what is the intention of writing? Real meaning, literal meaning. Sometimes literary words meaning is okay, but which type and which situation the word is used, the real intention behind writers using that word in a particular place, that finding is also comes in this positive interpretive criticism. Stages of positive interpretive criticism also. First stage in positive criticism, stage deals with language of the document in which an effort is made to know the literal meaning of the document. Now it is essential that all the meaning of the text should be carefully known because history contains such material that lies scattered in different languages. So it is the main aim of the scholar find out all he should be well versed in the language in which document is produced. This authentic language, perfect language used. It is only possible in the case where the scholar may know the real meaning of the intention of the writer. It is noteworthy that in each language some words have different meanings and meanings also continue to change in due course of time. In every language some words has different meaning different times also. There is also possibility that there is difference of vocabulary of the people of the city and language. My language, my pronunciation is different to Maharashtrians, their language and pronunciation different to Andhra, then their language and preference to Kerala people also. Even you go to North, uh, even Northeast Asian, Northern students also. So it's a changing one. So here the author has to, while you writing, while referring any book, the language, the words, the vocabulary, everything is also testing is important. The superficial language of a language may put the scholars in trouble. Sometimes what happen, writer use the glorified language, but that is not important. Real intention of the writing text, maybe it is simple, maybe understandable, maybe helpful to each and everyone easily understand. But some poets, some more knowledgeable persons, they have to use the language difficulty, one which is not understood by the easily by the others. So testing the literal meaning. Then second, even after the literal meaning of the text has been correctly established, it is not sure that the real thought of the authors has been understood. The second stage is attempt to know the real meanings of the thoughts, what these were expressed by the author. It is a difficult job in itself because author might have hidden real meaning under creation cover. So it becomes necessary that the scholar tries to find out real meaning which the author had intentionally concealed. It is not easy job because there is no rigid law to know hidden meaning of the words. It may be noted that this problem arises mostly in religious texts, private letters, and literary works, where the author usually try to conceal their real ideas and try to express only indirectly. In many cases, religious texts indulge in illusions and their commentaries are even longer than the original text. So it is not clear whether the author has used the words in literal meaning or oblique manner. For example, if I give a word related to dharma, see dharma word, its real meaning if you translate in English, it is called as religion. Okay, one example in English. The dharma, it's called as your duty, the another meaning. Dharma, practice your own work. So here some religious texts are different. Our morally you have to practice. One dharma word is have various meanings. So the in the second time, the author using a particular words along with literal meaning, real meaning finding is also important in while doing research. So these are the some principles. It is the responsibility of scholar of positive criticism to understand the language properly because language is always subject to change. So sound knowledge of the period in which the document was produced is very necessary reaching the right conclusion. In fact, need to this can be overlooked. The scholar must know one thing that use of language varies from nation to nation, region to region, profession to professional, and class to class. This point is very necessary while doing the internal criticism. Then research in history should be started with doubt. So the positive criticism while you are doing, you have to, there should not be made any effort to use modern meanings to words and phrases of the old period of any other country. So every word and phrase should be determined with the view of language of the time, the country of the origin and circumstance in which it was written. The negative criticism important stage is it is assumed today that most of the historical documents have been distorted due to one or many reasons. Sometimes it happens that many documents are self-contradictory. So nowadays, a need is arising that these statements and facts which are considered to be false or wrong should be eliminated. The main purpose of this is to find out the element of truth contained in the document. The negative criticism helps to find out the truth of what is contained in the text and also reconstruct history on that basis. The main aim of negative criticism is to pursue truth, which is the basis of the problem. It also helps in giving the idea which is concealed in the text and points out fact that what type of information author wants to convey in this document. Then function of negative document is that the function of negative criticism aims at removing the danger of falling into errors and that eliminate the statement. When author initially wanted to put something in the text, this criticism helps us to remove those things and write the correct things in the text. That is the importance of this negative criticism. In this criticism, every document is presumed to be false and truth is determined. The scholar accepted the fact as truth, where he has good reason to believe, so the doubt should not be left as the document should be studied deeply. It may be clear that there is a certainty of origin of event, but the contents of the document may contain error too. Therefore, it is the task of the negative criticism to distinguish the true and false statement of the document, which may have uh, both are one of the errors. Then general laws of the negative criticism. The first rule means that a scientific truth is not alone determined by the testimony. So it is essential that there must be particular reasons for accepting truth. So each statement must be deeply examined separately to ascertain the truth. The second rule is that criticism must not be en bloc or whole work must not be avoided if there are found some inaccuracies knowledge somewhere. It is essential to analyze it to its element and examine it individually. So it must be done step by step. Now criticism and analysis have sequence. Therefore, criticism contains not only one operation but also many operations. If something happened in this book, one or chapter other, you drop that one, not whole book. The points of examination while criticism is first to judge the mental thinking. Why the negative criticism took place in the document? First, we have to think about what was the mental thinking of the author expressed those things. Then the second thing, you find out the psychology of author, which is largely responsible for that problem. Why author makes so many mistakes here? One thing is his mentality. Second thing is psychological thinking. Third is the which are very necessary because third one is the author must be forceful by the others due to errors of good faith, due to vanity, pleasing of the some community people. Maybe author use those things to get personal advantage. If I have write this thing, the people appreciate me. Those things, his own liking or disliking. That's why author make the mistake in the writing or intentionally also because of passions of some class people happy to know this one. That's why also. Then compulsions, then accuracy, errors of accuracy, observation by the writer, observation under some pressure group also he wrote those things. His own prejudiced mind responsible for writing those bad things in the book. Personal interest of the observer, the intelligence and experience less time, problem of less time. That's why he done that one. Then personal habit of reporter, how much he has given the report about this. Then problem with availability of document also he made mistakes. So these are the errors of accuracy took place. Then errors of good faith. If he want to do those things, remove the errors of accuracy, then he has to take their thing, ability to tell the truth, willingness to tell the truth, accuracy of report, independent corroboration is necessary for correct the document. So these are, so now what we have studied in this lecture, external criticism, outer of the books, internal criticism, which language, literal and real meaning, why the author make the mistake personally or forcefully and other things, what was his intention behind writing books, his mindset, his language and his content, everything is checking in, comes in the internal criticism. So there's two type of criticism we adopt while doing the historical method in doing the research. So these are Ken Chitney's book, Research Methodology in History and Research Methodology in History. Chetan Agarwal book also give us information on this. Even Amar Khan Singh book also and Lal Shah's book also helpful for you. These are the reference book. B. Shekali History, Theory and Method, Subramanian Histography, Tikekar book on histography,